Tiger Woods is leading the U.S. Open. That was at 7:50 Eastern time. Tiger went off really early, birdied his first hole. He was 1 under through 6, Kyle, but he finishes 4 over 74. How did he end up going downhill there in his last 12 holes or so?
Well, you could kind of see it coming, and the reason is that what your dad was seeing early. So he starts on the back here. He starts on 10, 11, 12, 13, and he kind of putted his face off. I mean, he was making everything that he looked at. And that's a very difficult thing to sustain and to maintain throughout 18 holes. And you see it kind of come undone as he makes the turn and makes 5 bogeys in 7 holes there at starting at 16. So he bogeys 16, 17, makes the turn, 3 more bogeys in 4 holes. And he doesn't hit it good enough. You know, he talked about this afterwards. He's like, I don't play enough to be sharp enough. But then if I play more, I might not be ready for the U.S. Open from a health perspective. So it's a real catch-22 kind of situation for him. But he really putted well early on, which kind of led you to believe, hey, maybe if the short game can kind of keep it going, then we can see Tiger. And I still think we could see Tiger on Saturday, Sunday, if he hits it just a little bit better than he did on Thursday in the second round when he tees off on Friday.
Kyle Porter, thanks for coming back. Thanks for saving the segment. And we'll save the moon landing talk for the next First Cut podcast. How's that? Kyle Porter with us from Pinehurst No. 2, round 1 of the U.S. Open. They had a huge show with Kyle, Chip Patterson, Patrick McDonald, Mark Edelman, Rick Gaiman. Yeah, I mean, everybody getting you ready for the U.S. Open, and they will be doing post-round podcasts as well when things are said and done from Pinehurst No. 2.
Tiger Woods got out to a really good start and had a birdie, some pars, and then he got into a bit of a bogey fest there. Doug, what did you make of Tiger Woods today?
Well, Tommy, you know, it's funny. I've been following Tiger for years. I still set the alarm. I wanted to see him tee off this morning at 7:29. You know, I mean, I still think maybe there's a chance, but what we saw is what we have seen lately in his last 12 majors before this one. Had not recorded a top 20 finish. Very inconsistent. Obviously, injuries have taken away his game. The middle of the round there, where he had 5 bogeys in a 7-hole stretch. I mean, that's kind of the way he's been playing. I will say this, though. He hit 12 out of 14 fairways. That's really, really good. And normally his iron play is that's what he's earned his reputation on. But today, hit only 3 greens in regulation. And that set him up for what turned out to be a 74. Could have been worse. And I think when all is said and done, I think Tiger probably feels pretty good about that. And he had 2 3-putts, Tommy. I mean, bogeys on par 5s and 3-putts, those guys hate it, but especially Tiger. When he records a 3-putt, oh my, that is a cardinal sin.
He talked about it in his post-match press conference, which really echoes a lot of the golfers. The error, the margin of error is razor thin to having a good round or a bad round, and we'll see how some of these guys bounce back on Friday. Doug Bell joining us here with an update on the U.S. Open. Doug, certainly appreciate it. And the First Cut podcast will certainly have you covered round and round. Scan that QR code right now. Taking a look at the live leaderboard in terms of the betting market. Rory McIlroy coming in right now at 4-1. Ludwig Åberg at plus 550. And Scotty Scheffler at 6-1. Your current leader, Patrick Cantlay, plus 750.
Here on HQ Spotlight, let's look at some of the morning guys who were out early and went low. Patrick Cantlay, a really surprising 5 under 65. Ludwig Åberg, who was second at the Masters, 1 back. Tony Finau is up there as well. Tiger Woods, by the way, a 4 over round of 74. Let's take you out to Pinehurst now. Kyle Porter is standing by. What have you seen, Kyle, from the course and the conditions so far?
Well, it's hot out here. It's the golf course is baking out. It's getting really, really hot. I'm interested to see how this golf course kind of evolves as the week goes on. You know, I think Thursday is kind of what I expected. It's difficult, but not crazy. They haven't lost it. I think the golf course is right where the USGA wants it to be, and they can dial it up a little bit on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So. No rain is expected. It's really, really hot. It's really, really kind of dusty and dry and kind of everything that you expect from a U.S. Open championship. So I think it's not the most comfortable conditions, But in terms of championship golf for U.S. Open, I think it's really perfect conditions for these guys out here.
Well, looking at the morning guys, nobody played better than Patrick Cantlay. He was being faded by almost everybody going into this tournament because of his recent struggles. He missed the cut last week, just one top 20 in the last 3 months. So how does he card his best ever round at the U.S. Open? Well, I was worried about that. The conditions there, the internet conditions are not good.
Maybe it's the heat.
Porter.
It was going to be really warm. It's going to be over 90 degrees.
He looked like
Why don't you tell me
he was coming from the surface of the moon. Are you one of those people that thinks the moon landing was made up?
No, I don't, Chris. I don't. Do you have a pick to win the U.S. Open? Hideki Matsuyama was a very popular pick. Oh, okay. I think we got him back.
Kyle's back, thank God.
You want to ask him about the moon?
No.
Talk about golf.
Kyle, if you can.
I leave for 5 seconds, and you guys are talking about the moon landing. Patrick Cantlay played really well today. He played great golf this morning. I think what's interesting about Cantlay on this golf course is his game is so well-rounded. He's so good at every aspect, and it makes no sense that he hasn't played better at major championships. This is a U.S. Open at Pinehurst that tests every facet is very good, put it all together. So I thought he was awesome on Thursday. I think one thing to watch on Friday, he didn't drive it great. That was probably the poorest part of his game. Kind of cleaned it up around the greens, but you're going to get, if you continue to drive it poorly, you're going to get some bad breaks in this Wiregrass and leave yourself in some tough spots he did on Thursday.
Coming into this week, only 5 times had a player completed a U.S. Open round at Pinehurst without a bogey. Patrick Cantlay didn't do it. Oberg didn't do it. But 44-year-old Sergio Garcia was unblemished today, 1 under 69. How clean and consistent was he?
Yeah, he was awesome. He made 1 birdie and 17 bars. That's a pretty cool card there. This is a cool story. Say what you want about Sergio and Liv and the fireballs and everything else that's gone on, but this is his 25th consecutive U.S. Open. He qualified in. He was an alternate, got in kind of at the last minute, and went out and shot a great round. This is again, like we've been kind of saying this all week, but if you can ball strike it, you can get around this golf course. His short game, I think, is really underrated. It's really, really special at times, and his round on Thursday was fun to watch, and I'm interested to see if he can kind of turn back the clock and keep it up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.